If a small fish is present in a polluted water and a big fish, it eats 100 of such small fish, what do you think? Which will have more amount of pollution in it? Just think. So today we are going to learn how there is a chemical enter into the tiny organism and eventually it reaches to the top of the food chain. So without any further delay, let's get started. So in today's class, we'll learn about what do you mean by bioconcentration, bioaccumulation, biomagnification and ecological pyramids. Okay, so we'll see it in detail one by one. So now let's see what do you mean by bioconcentration. So bioconcentration, it's the intake of and accumulation of a chemical in an organism only through its respiratory and dermal surface. Okay, so here there is an intake of a chemical substance only with the help of a dermal surface, or it might be with the respiratory organs. So this is called as a bioconcentration. So here we can see here there is polluted water in which the fish is present, and here we can see it enters via the gills, okay, accumulates in the tissues. Okay, so respiratory surfaces, dermal surfaces, and food and dietary uptake is not included in this particular bioconcentration. So now let's see in bioaccumulation. So what do you mean by this bioaccumulation? Accumulation of a chemical in an organism by all routes of exposure. Okay, so here this all routes of exposure, it might be including through the gills, or through the respiratory organs, or it might be by the dermal surface, or it might be by the food, that is food intake. Okay, so now we'll see what's the difference between the bioconcentration and bioaccumulation. Okay, so bioconcentration, we already came to know that bioconcentration, so there is a uptake of a chemicals only through the dermal surface and with the help of a respiratory organs. Okay, whereas in case of this bioaccumulation, so it might be with the help of a respiratory organs, or it might be with the dermal surface, or also from the food diet. Okay, so this is the main difference between the bioconcentration and bioaccumulation. So what happens when a polluted small fish is eaten up by a big fish and big fish is eaten up by an eagle? Okay, so we'll see it with the help of a definition here. Okay, so what do you mean by this bioaccumulation? Bioaccumulation of a chemicals in an organism at increasingly higher concentration at successive trophic levels. So as you move on to the next trophic level, there will be a increasing concentration of these toxins. So that is what about the biomagnification. Okay, so when there is a pesticides is present in the water, okay, so when it is mixed with the water, the phytoplanktons, they are making use of this particular water. Okay, so next these phytoplanktons, they are consumed by the zooplanktons, and zooplanktons by the small fish, and small fish by the big fish, and big fish by the eagle. So this is how there is a increasing toxins as we move on to the next successive trophic levels. So this is about the biomagnification. So now let's see what do you mean by ecological pyramids. Okay, it's the a graphical representation among the relationship among the trophic levels. So which is being graphically represented. Okay, so that is called as the ecological pyramids, and there are three types of pyramids. That is pyramid of numbers, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of energy. So now let's see it one by one. In a grassland it can be upright. Okay, so here we can see the upright movement of this. Okay, so upright movement. Okay, whereas in case if there is only one tree supporting the hundreds of insects and hundreds of birds, so then it could be in a inverted shape. Okay, like this. Okay, so here this is an inverted shape. Okay, so this is about the pyramid of numbers. So now let's see about the pyramid of biomass. Okay, shape of a biomass of pyramid. Okay, so as we see, the biomass means it's nothing but the total mass of a living organism at a trophic level. Okay, so here when we see this particular biomass, so here there is again the upright movement. So as we move on to the next successive trophic level, the biomass, it keeps on decreasing. Okay, from one successive trophic level to the next successive trophic level. Okay, so this is about the shape of the biomass pyramid. So when we come to the pyramid of energy, there is only 10% of the energy movement to the next level. Okay, so here we can see in case of producers, okay, there is only 10,000 kilocalories of energy. Only 10% of this particular energy is transferred to the next level. So from here there is only 10% of the energy is carried to the next carnivores, and only 10% of this is carried to the next top carnivores. So this is how there is a pyramid of energy. Okay, so if you people understood this video, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.